Thank you for watching our Long Family Dinner video. This project has seen workshop participants from the Space, George Green School and Friends of the Island History Trust explore the last 90 years on the Isle of Dogs through the lens of a family dinner. What you're about to see are some extracts from the work that's been created. It's a creative response to a historical context, so please do forgive any anachronicities. We had hoped to be able to share this at a community feast at the Space, but due to COVID, we've not been able to do that. Working online has presented challenges, but it has still been a highly enjoyable project, and we hope that you enjoy the work as much as our participants enjoyed creating it. This video is dedicated to Albert Lechley, a long-term member of our SpaceWorks company. We sadly lost Albert this year, but we'll never forget his generosity, humour, and the twinkle in his eye. This one's for you, Albert.
Only time, only the passing of time can help in these things. Don't you think we might ask Cousin Ermengarde to come and live with us here? There's plenty for everyone. There's no reason why she should go on teaching the first grade forever and ever. She wouldn't be in the way, would she, Charles?
No. I think that would be fine. Potatoes and gravy, anybody? Mother, a little more turkey.
It was great to be in Alaska in those days.
Landmarks, and then you have different scenes in the different landmarks.
That'd
so it's
be
like
good.
you're travelling around the world, but you're just in one place.
That would be
That's
quite.
a really good
I
idea.
like
You're
that.
travelling
I like that.
around the backgrounds.
So it's the backgrounds that change.
Yeah.
So we could have a projector.
I want to be alone for just a few minutes.
Charles, Mother doesn't tell us, but she hasn't been very well these days.
Come, Mother, we'll go to Florida.
Well, let's have a look at what they're doing in this play.
I mean, they're eating dinner.
Exactly.
I
Now,
wouldn't say
let's go. So let's go.
eating dinner in a play is the best idea with a theme,
Right.
because it's you can only see a house because that's where you normally eat dinner.
What if you were stuck in one place? What if you physically?
Oh, my darlings, twins.
At the dinner table, just like
Charles,
this.
aren't they glorious? Look at
So,
them.
is that exciting or not very exciting?
I mean, I would say it's exciting depending on the thing you put it in.
Yeah.
But I would say
I feel as though I was the first mother who ever
the
had
background of a dinner table being in there for sleep.
I meant
And then
okay.
in the theme, and then you could
Yeah.
have someone sleeping.
Okay.
And then while they're sleeping, the scene changes,
Oh, I like this.
and then you wake back up again. You're in a whole new place,
Right.
and then you go back to sleep again, and it changes while you're asleep.
And where?
Like a bedroom.
A bedroom.
you
Is there a
go back-
bedroom at George Green?
No.
Right. So what are they doing in this scene that you definitely do at George Green maybe every day?
We could be having like a plain more chat. So doing chat in
Where might you be chatting? What do you do every day that they're doing there? What are they doing throughout the whole play?
they're eating and eventually getting older.
Yeah. So we are getting older. I mean, on the metaphysical kind of thing, like I'll be older, you'll be older.
Yeah.
But what could we set in George Green that happens every day, about halfway through the day, that they're doing in there, that if I went back to Adam, I'd say, oh, Beth's got this great idea. That is a fantastic idea, by the way. Your idea is so good that every time you're talking about it, Miss, I've already seen it in my head. Like I'm watching, I can see why they use your voice for this audio, because
it's mainly because I don't get the smaller picture. So
yeah,
the characters are not even part of what I see.
Yeah, of course.
It's the background.
Yeah,
I-
the creative brain.
I'll
The
let you know.
background
Of course.
doesn't. If it doesn't look particularly appealing,
Uh-huh.
then it's not really presenting the theme.
Mm.
Because I like to see backgrounds presenting the theme of the
Well,
play or the idea,
mm.
and
Well,
knowing where you're going. So they should be recognisable
Uh-huh.
of where they are.
Well, that's a good idea because I'm a small thinker. So you've given me all of this big stuff, and I'm like, that's why I think we're going to complement each other, the three of us. So what? So if we, Miss, have you got what? So we're going to have a quick game of what if. We're going to go around and going to go.
Dirt track enthusiasts never tire of the roar of the engines. Hey, what's going on here? Somebody's playing tricks on us by the look of it. This is a boys' bicycle speedway on a bomb site at Honor Oak. But to these kids, the thrill is just the same. Everything is done exactly as it is at the real speedway, with parents and friends rolling up to watch the fun.
Morning, Tom. I'll put the kettle on for breakfast.
Yeah, go on, hurry up, Auntie Jen, because I've got to get down the track.
Good morning.
Oh, you're always in a hurry.
Oh, hungry.
You're racing again this morning then, son?
Yeah. Can't wait. Got a new
Who are
bike.
you up against today?
Well, Frank's racing, isn't he, Sissy? Eh?
Yeah.
Frank's racing. Yeah, and who else? Jack's there, and
Michael.
Oh, Michael's going to be there. Yeah. So I'm going to meet them all there.
Okay.
If I ever get any breakfast.
Who's this Frank, Lucy?
Sorry?
Who's Frank?
Frank. A boy from school.
Yeah, boy at school. Right. Yeah. we all know
Arthur.
what that means.
Arthur.
Not too sure about this.
You want to watch out, Tom, for that, Frank. He's got a name.
Yeah. We're getting into trouble before we know it.
Can we please change the subject?
Everything was going extremely well here until a fat boy popped over from nearby Pickham, determined to show 'em, or else. Or else was about right. But then Speedway stars don't worry over much about a bruise or two.
What the hell happened there?
Well, I got back okay, but what the heck happened to Andy?
Look, how come I got the bike with the wheels from David's chair?
Yeah, but the wheels were adjusted in a non-professional way.
Yeah, you fixed him, Andy, didn't you? That was you who was supposed to do that job.
Oh, David, you know how we managed to get him back. 3 wheels on his wagon. You know, what a shambles.
All right, I'm sorry, but you know, there's one good thing that's come out of it. I snuck over to the Toffs camp and I got this steak that was shoved down his trousers.
Oh. Well, good appetite, but I won't touch it.
I'll put the kettle on for supper, Tom. You should have seen Arthur. He was great. As for that Frank...
Well, he got a cramp.
Winner!
Put a sock in it, Arthur.
Oh.
So you won then, son, did you? Any damage to the bike?
Well, only a little bit, Mum, but Dad, but it's all right because Frank's dad's going to give me a shift in the butcher's shop so I can pay for the damage, but it's only a little bit. It's all right.
Get over it, Sissy. The tea's ready. Here we go.
I was praying for you, grandson. I'm so glad you're safe.
That's it.
Just be quiet, take a few deep breaths, and enjoy our meal.
Yeah, but he gets all
And for heaven's sake, think of poor baby Violet and the impression your constant bickering makes on her. And think also of your poor mother.
All to understand.
Spends her professional life trying to keep the peace among the wider public. And she does not want to waste her energy trying to keep the peace between you two. So let's all together take a deep breath, kiss, and make up.
And you shut up, Danny.
Well, I'm sorry, but I like what I'm doing, and I can't understand why you always have to bring me down.
Well,
I'm
you
just like-
never think of somebody else but yourself. You're a bit of egocentric, aren't you? A little bit.
No, I'm not. Why do you think I
Oh, you are. You don't believe in what you're saying. You just want money, 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 money.
How can you say about that? Because I'm just trying to build my own life, get a good job, stand on my own feet. So, and you're always trying to put me down. So I don't understand why you're going to do that. And you don't have your life in order either. So
I'm
I
trying.
don't know. What is the
I'm
problem?
just trying. I'm trying.
Attention, everybody. Attention, everybody. Evacuate the building now. Evacuate the building. Lead out calmly to outside.
You see
attention,
where,
evacuate.
You see where your constant arguing has what it's led to. They're evacuating the building.
Is that serious? Or is it just an exercise, maybe? Hey?
Oh, I think they're serious.
Evacuate. Leave the building now. Evacuate. Evacuate.
Take it from me. If they say evacuate, that means evacuate.
Oh,
Get out of here. Come on.
Oh, I'm hungry. Ooh.
Well,
Now for John Snow with a news report from the studios of ITN.
At least 100 people have been wounded in a bomb explosion in the East End of London tonight. 8 are now seriously injured, 2 of them police officers. It came as the IRA claimed in Dublin to have called an end to their ceasefire. Police say the blast was at South Quay in an underground garage of a 6-storey building. The Prime Minister tonight said the bomb was an atrocity. Sinn Féin's Gerry Adams said he was saddened that an opportunity for peace had foundered. In Belfast, the RUC said steps have been taken to reintroduce security measures which will involve military support where necessary. That's all from this Channel 4 News report. More as it comes to hand.
Who's this one? All right, the Space Dinner Party, 1940.
So, coming from my history background, I went to this book, which is the Isle of Dogs during World War II.
Wow.
I was thinking about basing it in the docks, but then when I read this, I read the chapter that was on the first night of the Blitz. And there was you can't see that, and I can send it, but it was a map of where the very first bombs fell on the first night of the Blitz. So up until that point, there'd been some sort of sporadic bombing, but September the 7th was the first really big night when the island was completely covered. And round about sort of about 10 to 6, the bombs started to fall. And the very first bomb that fell was almost opposite where the space is. And I thought, well, there's a sort of good place for us to start. So in between where the Vulcan pub is, the pub that was called the Magnet and Dewdrop, around that area was a place called St Andrew's Wharf, and that really got hammered. But the other thing that hit me in the book was that, yes, they were aiming at the docks, but in fact it was local houses and people that really got affected as well. So all the residential houses along that area where the space is now would have been caught in the force of that blast. So I wanted to centralise it in around that area. So I've got the similar family. I've got the mum and the dad. There's dad's mum living with them. There's an older son who works with the dad in the docks. There's a young, fairly stroppy teenager, who's got her own mind. I think a woman, but I don't mind, and the baby. We're talking. I've given them a few names. We've got Dad Tom. So if you could just keep it. That's it. That's lovely. Thanks. So I said whereabouts it is, and I placed it about the time when the bombing was about to start. So Mum and Gran are sitting, and the teenager. Tea's ready on the table, but Tom's not arrived home yet. He's a little bit late, and they're not quite sure what's going on. I've also said that, there was that lull. So around about 5:30, nobody was really expecting anything to happen because the blitz hadn't started. So it's that moment when Tom's arriving home, and I think, we've got the eyewitness accounts there of people suddenly seeing this huge formation of planes coming over, and that there were the ACAC guns, the anti-aircraft guns, set on the mud chute, firing away at suddenly something that started to appear. So Tom sees this sort of coming over as he gets home. So we start with the mum and the nan in the house. Tom's late, but Tom arrives home. He's seen these things coming over. Something's about to happen, and it starts. So thank you. If we can just roll it on a little bit.
Certainly, Alice. Oh, sorry, Glenn. Sorry.
So there's the opening that Tom and Will are a bit late this evening. Tom comes home. Will's been left to fire watch or something in the docks. He hasn't come home. The fact was that first wave of the blitz lasted about an hour and a half. And then the planes went away again. So everybody sort of thought, oh, that's it. It's just another one of those sort of, they're here, they're gone. But in fact, they came back about an hour later, hour and a half later, and the bombing went on all night, and was really terrified. So it's a sort of sign of things to come. If we wanted a bit of an argument in it, the daughter, who is stroppy and feisty, Mum doesn't think she should be going to help fight the fires over in the wharf and help the people. But there's a big argument. Gran is always on the daughter's side, so the daughter eventually goes over to help. Alice wanted, we were talking about whether we could have this sort of, food is tight, money's tight. So whether part of the argument was whether we go and help people who've been bombed by maybe just taking them some food or some sandwiches or something. Whatever, the stroppy teenager ends up going and helping with fighting the fire. Eventually they come home, everybody's safe, the tension is over, they think everything's fine, they can sit down and have their dinner now in peace, but what they don't know is that, an hour later it's all going to kick off again. There we go, that's my scene.
Let's give a lovely standing ovation or a Mexican wave there. That is fantastic, lovely. Again, so much meat on that bone, so much to play with. Really quick bit of feedback from our actors. What do we think? David, what do you think about that?
I know someone.
You know that this past year, up until Sally arrived, I've been rolling out software releases for Natalie's bank.
Of course. Remember, you sometimes spot me and wave from the building opposite while I was getting the cleaning team organised. Working those long hours wasn't good, though.
Well, Mum, that might not happen again. My agency sent me an email about an hour ago. The bank has cancelled their contract, and so they're dismissing me.
That's not right. Not while you're on maternity leave.
It's not just me. Sanjeev, my team leader, texted. He said without the work from Natalie's, the whole isn't viable. The chief exec has resigned, and it doesn't sound as if anyone is going to get paid this month.
Goodness. I mustn't let this burn. Your dad will be home for tea shortly. I've just got some pasta and sauce tonight.
It smells good, though.
I'm sorry about your work. I know it means a lot to you, but the pair of you will be all right for now, won't you? As Paulie's doing okay in his job.
Well, he works hard. It's worse than that, Mum. We need my salary to buy our new flat. Without it, I think we'll lose the mortgage.
What does Paul think? What does Paul think?
I haven't had a chance to tell him yet. I can't just phone the news like this. His boss is a dragon and his project is red, so he didn't get in until midnight all last week.
You're not a fit state to be alone at the moment, and we're only just got the baby to sleep. Why not text Paul and let him know you're here for the evening?
Paul says he's on his way already.
Your dad has booked leave to help you move on the 30th. I'm sad you're planning to leave the island, but they're smart new builds at Beckton, and you might need the chance to set up a home properly. That rented place is tiny, but you'll be able to stay on there until you sorted this mortgage problem out.
No, Mum, we have no choice to move out. We gave notice to the landlord, so there's another couple impatient to move in at the end of the month.
Even if you haven't got your new place?
What happened? Why this cardboard box?
You've not seen the news. Lehman has collapsed. We were all called to an announcement in the atrium. They told us to clear our desks and go. The security staff escorted the managers out. We were watched to make sure we didn't touch the computers.
What? Oh, heck.
I was lucky to get this box. Others had to leave without the belongings which they couldn't carry. There's talk of bankruptcy. I reckon this hole punch is the last thing I'm going to get out of that bunch of bankers.
Suggesting if we provide for context of the initial stimulus of a long family dinner with its continuous action, and then we considered how that might work for our group in the context of the Isle of Dogs, and breaking it into different historical eras and the things which could potentially link those eras about whether it be a family or whether it just be acquaintances, but the common factor of food through those different times and significant events in the Isle of Dogs. And that was simply the mechanism, but the joy of it was the experimentation that we've had.
I suspect it's helped everybody else as well to kind of like survive, you know, the last kind of year or 18 months or however long it is now. seems interminable, but yeah, and just like, yeah, that escapism and kind of connecting in a different sort of way, because I think it's not for me about kind of doing a perfect performance or anything like that. It is about actually, you know, doing something that's much more embodied, you know, that you're kind of, and you're being creative. It's not about learning a script or, you know, kind of forming a kind of piece that's already out there. You know, we're being creative, we're inventing stuff, and that brings different things out in you. And I think that provided me with the most kind of escapism, really. So yeah, it was brilliant. And yeah, connecting the kind of craziness of it all, connecting up with everybody else, you know, kind of quite a sort of funny way.
I was going to say, Leva, what are your thoughts?
Well, I agreed with Emma and almost everything that has been said, but important was the high degree of liberty we were given. So we could be creative and go all sorts of ways, and there was never a taboo or something. And like Jane said, when it was crazy, it was quite normal. So, but of course, Alice in Weatherspoons is a theme to go crazy.
Yes.
Whereas the family dinner was not really, but at the same time you could go crazy.
Yeah, I think
I remember the thing we did before New Year. We had that about the cycle cross,
Yeah.
you know, and then I remember that I said put a stake in his trousers, and then we kept on improvising. Yeah, we could serve that afterwards and have a kind of a barbecue with that steak out of his trousers and things like that. So it could go crazy as well. But I
no,
appreciate.
you were definitely the naughtiest, Lever. You were definitely the
I don't know about that. Anyhow, you started it with your course on clowning. I remember that.
Yeah.
So you started
Yes,
that.
exactly.
But it's not very often that you get that big liberty that you gave us. That's quite unusual, I think.
Well, it's unusual also for people to embrace it. That's what I mean. Gavin and I would say, we'd have our chats before the class going, and this and this. Oh yeah, they'll do it. They'll do it. You know, I mean, you were just so open and so able. It was amazing. Honestly, amazing.
And to go on that, it was. I mean, I came into a. I mean, I hadn't realised, for example, you and Gavin hadn't ever met each other sort of for real. I came into what I envisaged was a really established group. And that's hard usually, to sort of come in where everybody knows everybody else, and I never ever felt you know, an outsider or a newbie. I just felt immediately welcomed, and it was comfortable right from the off. And I think that says a lot about the way that the group is established and run, and the freedom and the, you know, nothing's wrong. You know, I remember Gavin saying that, you know, nothing's wrong. It's, you know, go with it, let it roll. And that really helped to make it a friendly, welcoming, cohesive group for me.
Yeah, I think both Gavin and Jane, you gave it like just a really easy atmosphere, you know, like you wanted it to be fun and people to enjoy themselves, and you know, that really came across. And I think that just makes all the difference. You know, it didn't get intense, you know, like sometimes it can all get a bit intense.
No, isn't there that awful moment in a course where they look at you and you know you've got to be serious and give them your most important view, and you no, I can't do it, I crumble. Well,
no, but we can be, and we have been very crazy. But I think the second project, the family dinner, had that element of seriousness with all the historic sides and the things. It was a bit of study work and research work, and I think that was that gave more a balanced view of what we have been doing for the whole year then. And I think some people would appreciate to hear that as well.
Yeah, in fact, that's what I loved about the family dinner, was there were these sort of terribly serious events going on, and at the same time there was the lightness of the dinner and people having to eat food, and you know, it was wonderful like that.
Yeah. There's only just a few of us talking here this evening. I mean, we've spoken of a very cohesive group, but you know, with enough flexibility for others to join for a few weeks and leave, and you know, but you know, mainstays of Andy and David, and we've had Anna particularly taking the lead in Alice in Wonderspoons. So a great, you know, a decent variety of people that have been with us.